Design spielt in der Technik eine große Rolle. Ein technisch komplexes Gerät mit einem benutzerfreundlichen Erlebnis und ansprechendem Äußeren zu versehen, ist keine leichte Aufgabe. Die finale Gestalt eines Smartphones ist nur der letzte Schritt in einer langen Kette von Prototypen und Tests, um die beste Lösung für die Verbraucher zu erreichen. Wir hatten die Gelegenheit, den Lead-Designer hinter Googles neuesten Geräteentwürfen, Alberto Villarreal, zu treffen, um einen Einblick in die Entwicklung eines Smartphones zu bekommen. Im Fokus das Pixel 2 XL.
Alberto, what's your background in terms of design?
So I'm working at Google for the last 5 years, basically working on mobile devices. Before that, I've been a design consultant, working on very different industries for consumer electronics sometimes, and also interior architecture, sports products, different things, but most of the time in consumer electronics.
Tell me a little bit about design secrets and thoughts on the Google Pixel 2.
So Pixel 2 really represents years of development on mobile devices at Google. It really brings together artificial intelligence, software and hardware and industrial design in a tangible packet. And I'm really excited. I think this is a design that we've been really working very carefully to pull off. It's a very iconic design that represents the brand values very well. I think we're trying to make technology more approachable, more human. Sometimes these products have enormous capabilities, enormous computing power and processing power, and they're very complex inside. We want to make it effortless for the user. We want to make it very approachable and not intimidating, not overwhelming. And that's something that we've been working very intentionally about. For example, the way we use color in this is a fashionable way, but it's also very calm and sophisticated at the same time.
It's not only about the smartphone, it's also about the accessories and additional gadgets like Google Home Mini, the Pixel Buds, the cases. Where is the common design language for these products?
Yeah, I think as you can see in the whole product family, we're extending this use of materiality and colors and finishes that have a lot of texture and tactility. From the fabric on the cases to the fabric on the speakers or even on the headset, to the way we're using colors in this very calm but also very expressive and fashionable way. It's in a sort of minimalistic way, but very pragmatic. The reason to have glass and then metal comes from the functionality of the antenna performance, and also the area where you put your hand. So we're semantically trying to guide the user through the journey of using the product, and it comes across also in other products. In Google Home, for example, the bottom part is the speaker, the top part is the area where you interact with touch, which is the reason to have this double material at the same time. So again, it's a very approachable, but also in a very functional and pragmatic way.
So Designed by Google is actually a whole line of products with a specific design language.
Yeah, and we're also bringing a little bit of optimism to it. Like, we have these touches of color that are sparks of little moments. For example, you lift the speaker and you see there's this orange tone there. Or when you open these cases, you see that there is a color inside that is kind of a moment for discovery for the user. And yeah, it's a little bit of that expression, but also ways to make these products more enjoyable and delightful to use.
So we're sitting here to the finished product, sort of the final stage is to roll out it to the user. But how do you approach this state? How is the design process of a smartphone? Can you fill us in a little bit about this?
Yeah, sure. So we work very closely with our product management team, with the different engineering teams, camera teams, antenna teams, mechanical engineering, and with our vendors as well, to define the specifications and the dimensions, and then we go back and forth. I think the industrial design team spends a lot of time prototyping and testing and doing exploring forms and form factors, and seeing how these forms fit in your hand, how is the fingerprint sensor in a location that's comfortable for different hands, different sizes? Are the buttons in a layout that is consistent from a previous generation of product to the new one? And then working closely with these teams, we are able to develop features like the Active Edge, that you squeeze the phone and you get the Google Assistant right there. And we wanted to do it like that, so that is the closest and easiest way for the user to activate the Assistant. And the Google Assistant is obviously something that brings and ties all these products together. Whether you're in the kitchen with your hands occupied, you activate it through voice with the speakers, or you're working on the laptop and you have a dedicated key on the keyboard to launch the Assistant. Or if you're on the go with your phone in your hand, you just squeeze it and you have the Assistant there. And that consistent experience, I think, is something that we're paying a lot of attention to deliver to our users.
Der Ansatz von Alberto ist die Detailliebe, um den Käufern einen Mehrwert und ein Gefühl der Identifikation zu geben. Die Fokussierung der Marke auf die Vision kann ein Hinweis darauf sein, was wir in den zukünftigen Designs erwarten können. High-End-Technologie, die für jedermann einfach zu handhaben ist.